noise outside. Um, so first one, we want the area and the perimeter. What do we want? The area and the perimeter, the shaded part. So let's do the area first, because area it's easy, right? This area here. Area is just half of a circle, right? So again, we can just go. And A to C from here to here is 16, which means the radius is 8. So if I have the radius, I can find the area of the square. So A equals pi r squared. A equals pi times 8 squared. A equals 64 pi. Sorry. 64 pi. We're going to divide by 2 because it's not a full circle. It's half a circle. So if I divide that by 2, I get 32 pi centimeter squared. And I'm going to leave it in terms of pi because now, and then we want the perimeter. So the perimeter of the shaded field. So imagine if you were to take your dog and you're walking, right, and then you come here, and then you go that curve and go that. That's the perimeter of the shape that they're talking about. So we know this guy is 8. We know this is 8. We know this is 8. And we know this is 8. So the only part that we're missing is this distance. And that's this, and that distance. And that combined is what do you call the semi-circumference, right? So circumference equals pi times d. Circumference is pi times the diameter, which is 16. We're going to divide that by 2. And we get 8 pi. I'm going to leave it in terms of pi. So the circumference, so this part and that part combined is 8 pi plus 32 centimeters. Now, if you wanted to just give me one answer, you can multiply 8 times pi centimeters and then add 32, which I'll do. If I have a calculator, 8 times pi, enter. That's approx 25.13 plus 32, which is going to give us approximately, what is that, 57.13 centimeters. And that's the, what do you call it, the perimeter of this. Again, let me take a walk. Right? So if you were to do like this 8 sort of, you would, the distance would be 57.13. Alright, so again, pretty easy. Find the area of the unshaded area. So let's find the area of, so it's a rectangle, so I'm interested in the unshaded part, which is these parts right here, right? So it's the area of the rectangle minus the area of one circle, 2 circles, and a half. So area of the rectangle, let's find the area of the rectangle first. Let me draw a rectangle. Base times side, so that's 3 centimeters, so that means this is 3, that's 3, that's 3, that's 3. So that means the length of the rectangle is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. What's the height? Well, the height is 3, another 3, which makes the height 6. So the area of the rectangle is 15 times 6, which is 90 centimeters squared. Right. So the area of the circle, let's try area of the circle is pi r squared. So the area of, so it's pi, and what's the radius? The radius is 3, so it's 3 squared, which is 9. So it ends up giving us 9 pi. And I'm going to multiply that by 2.5, 2.5, because it's 1, 2.5 circles. So 9 times 2.5 is going to give us 22.5, and then I'm going to multiply that by pi, and it's going to give us 70.69 centimeters squared rounded. That's the area of the 2 circles and a half. So to find the unshaded part would be the area of this rectangle, 90 minus 70.69. That's going to give us 19.31 centimeters squared. Find the area of the shaded region. Okay, so the shaded region, it's composed of 2 figures, a triangle and the circle. So let's do the triangle first. So it says it's an equilateral triangle, so this is 14, this is 14, and this is 14, right, which makes the radius 7. Let's do the circle because I think the circle is easier. A equals pi r squared, but it's not a full circle, it's a half a circle, so A equals pi, what's the radius? 7, right, so the radius is 7. So 7 squared equals 49 pi, which we're going to divide that by 2. And we're going to get, let's leave it in terms of pi for now, 24.5 pi centimeters squared is the area of half a circle. This is half of a circle. Now, what's the area of the triangle? Well, the triangle is a little bit more work, but you can use Heron's formula, right? So we do the semi-perimeter, which is all the sides. Then we're going to divide that by 2. So 14 times 3, enter, divided by 2 is 21. So the semi-perimeter is 21. So using Heron's formula, area equals 21 times 21 minus 14. I'm going to repeat that 3 times. I'm going to take the square root. So area equals, let me just say, 21 times 7 times 7 times 7. It's going to give you 7,203. I'm going to take the square root of that. Oops. Square root of 7,203. Approx, so the area of the triangle is about 84.87 centimeters squared, and we have to combine those two, so let me change it 24.5 pi. It's 79.97 plus 84.87. Right, so approximately, right, it's not going to be a precise answer, 79.97 plus 84.87 equals 164.84 centimeters squared. That's the area of the combined shapes. 4, we want to find the area of the shaded region. So it's a full circle. So think about it. We want the shaded region. So it's a full circle, right? Minus, or let's see how we can do this. Let me put some numbers here. OA 7, so I know the radius of this circle is 7, so that's 7. So I can find the area of these two triangles, first of all, right? That's 7. So I can find the area of the triangle. And I can find the area of the circle. So when we find the area of the big circle, let me do that. Area of big circle. The area of the big circle is pi r squared. The radius of the big circle is 7, so 7 squared. We have 49 pi. So that's the area of the big circle. I want the shaded part. Hang on a second. So if I want the shaded part, I can just do I even need the area of the big circle? No, I don't. So here, this will be 3.5, and this will be 3.5. So the area of that shaded part, so area of small circle, right? Switching one of the parts I'm interested in. So it's pi times 3.5 to the second power, and we're gonna get 3.5 squared, enter, times pi, enter. So let's just write 38.48 centimeters squared. So that's the little square, little circle. Right, so this is definitely part of my answer. Now the other part of my answer is this. So if you think about it, I actually need the area of the big circle. So if I divide the area of the big circle by 2, I'm going to get 29 divided by 2. I'm going to get 24.5 pi. Right, so this half of a circle is 24.5 pi. So I know this whole thing over here that I'm painting in red is 24.5 pi. Right, I'll erase it in a second. That's 24.5 pi. Now, from 24.5 pi, I remove the triangle. I'm gonna get the shaded area, which is the second part of our region that we need. So let's find the area of the triangle. The area of the triangle. This one we can use base times height. So the base here is. So I'm looking for this triangle here. Right, so the base is 14. The height is 7. I'm going to divide that by 2. And the area of the triangle, well, 14 divided by 2 is 7. 49 centimeters squared. From that, this guy here, so let me multiply 24.5 pi, 24.5 times pi, and I get, so the area of the half circle is 79.97. From that, I'm going to subtract 49. So I'm going to have left 0, 30.97. 87. So if this is the half circle, 79.97, I remove the triangle, I'm left with 30.97, which represents this shaded area. So I have these, this, and this represent the two shaded areas, the small circle and this part right here. So if you combine both of them, you should get 38.48 plus 30.97 equals 69.45 is your shaded region. All right, so these are better problems than just asking you, hey, what's the area of a circle, right? It makes no sense anymore to do those problems. All right, here, what do we want? The area of the shaded region. Ugh. So again, we can find, this is a quarter of a circle, right? So it's a 1/4 of a circle. So we can find regular, so area equals pi r squared for a full circle. A equals pi. What's the radius? Well, the radius of a circle is this, 3.5. Then we're going to divide by 4. So 3.5 to the second power, enter, times pi, enter. We get the area of the full circle is 38, and then we're going to divide by 4, sorry. So now let me just write this. Now I'm going to divide by 4 because I want a quarter circle. So the quarter circle is 9.62 centimeters squared. And from that, so from the quarter circle, so from this quarter circle, minus, I got to subtract the triangle. I get the shaded region. Right? Region. So think about what you're doing. Right? We're doing half a circle, sorry, quarter of a circle, which we just found. We're going to find the area of the triangle now, and then subtract each other. So area of the triangle, base times height divided by 2. In this case, the base is 3.5, the height is 2. We're going to divide that by 2, and it's just 3.5. So the area of the triangle, it's 3.5 centimeters squared. So now I can subtract 9.62 minus 3.5, and the shaded region is minus 3.5, 6.12 centimeters squared. That's the area of the shaded region. Find the radius of the inner circle. Okay, as it's in the drawing. The area between the two concentric circles is 770 square centimeters. So this is what they mean. So this, the area between the two circles. Let me shade this as best as I can. Right, so this is what is 770 square centimeters. Okay, just for you to know. Okay. What do we want? Find the radius of the inner circle. So if I find the area, so let's find the area of the big circle. So area of the bigger circle. Let's see if I find the area of the whole circle. Let me shade this. If I find the area of the whole circle, of the big circle, right? So that's which we can do, right? Because we have enough information to do that. So imagine I found the area of the big circle. And then I remove that 770, right, which I'm going to erase. Let me make it a little small. If I remove the 770, I'm removing this part out. So I hope you agree that if I remove this part out, I'm left with the area of the small circle. And if I have the area of the small circle, I can find its radius. Okay, so that's what we're doing. Alright, area of the big circle. A equals pi r squared. What's the radius? It's 21, so we get pi times 21 to the second power. So let's get that. 21 to the second power, enter, times pi, no, sorry. And we get 1,385.44236. I don't know. from that, okay, so that's the area of the big circle. So let me see, hopefully I don't want to lose anybody here. Right, this is the area of the big circle. Oops. Let me shade it again. Ooh, nice. So that's the area I just found. Okay. Bad drawing. This is the area I just found, the full circle. Right. So imagine if I were to remove the crust. You're making a sandwich and then you're moving the crust. Why is this not removing? You're removing the crust. Okay, my crust is not being removed. Well, right, so the crust is here. Well, you get my point, right? So I'm removing that crust. So if I remove the crust, let me go back, I would have this left over. Right? So I remove that outer ring. And removing the crust is minus 770 centimeters squared. So I'm left that the area of the small circle is 615.44 centimeters squared. Now, I can go back to the area formula, and they're asking us for this radius. That's what they're at. That's the problem here. What's the radius? Well, I have the area, 615.44. Now I can divide both sides by pi to, right? Get rid of the pi. Divide by pi. I'm going to get 195, and I'm going to leave that in my calculator with all those decimals, 901, etc., etc. I don't want to round yet. Right, so now I'm going to take the square root of this guy, take the square root of this guy. That's going to give me r, and if you press square root of that 195.913876, you're going to get a well, rounded, it's going to be what the radius is 14. Okay, nice little problem for my two listeners out there. Track PT. What is PT? Where's P? Okay, so the radius, so the distance here is 200. So from here, that's T and that's P. So that's 200. So that's the diameter of the circle. Okay. Find the perimeter of, find the area of the shaded region. Okay. And find PT. Wait, sorry, PT 70. Sorry. PQ from here to here is 200. All right, so we can find the area of the rectangle right off the bat. Area of the rectangle is 70 times 200, which is 14,000. So 70 times 200, 14,000. And then we have to find the area of this circle, and that's, sorry, this half circle and the other half circle, which is just one full circle. So what's the radius? Well, if we know the diameter is 70, we know the radius is 35. So the area of the circle is pi times 35 to the second power. Area equals 35 to the second power, and then times pi, we're going to get 3,848.45. So we're going to add both 14,000 plus 3,848.51, and we're going to get 17,848.45. This is supposed to be 45, by the way. All right, so there's the area of our the inner part of our track. Now we want what do we want? The width of the track all around is 7. Okay, so this part right here is 7. Okay, which means that this part right here is 7. So I'm going to erase that because we already did area. So now the perimeter, right? The perimeter, well, let's do the easy part. So again, remember, imagine you're running this track. right? So you run this part right here. That part is easy. That's 200. And then you're going to run, eventually you're going to get here to the bottom, and you're going to run this part right here. That's another 200. And then you're going to run this part right here. Right? This part. That is a semi-circumference, but this is, with the other semi-circumference, gives you a full circumference of a circle. Agreed? So now the diameter changes. So again, the circumference equals pi times d. Now, why did they tell us that? So the diameter was 70 plus this 7, right? This part was 7, and they tell us that this width was 7. So the actual diameter of that circle, because it's a little bit bigger, it's 70 plus 7 plus 7, which equals to 84. So C equals pi times 84, which is going to be 84 times pi. It's going to give us 263.89. So we're going to add 200 plus 200 plus this 263. So 200 plus 200 plus 263, which is the circumference of a full circle, because it's, it's two half circumference added together. And that's going to give us 663.89 meters. And that's what one lap in this track would be. 9. Windshield wiper. Very popular problem. Find the area swept by the wiper. Okay. Well, the picture represents, so if you go outside, go check a car out. The windshield wiper, right, the thing, it's a stick like this, and then the blade is around here. So, right, it doesn't wipe the bottom part, it just wipes the top, right? So if it goes back and forth. We want the area, find the area swept by the wiper. So that's the shaded areas of interest. So it's a quarter, 2/4, right? So it's, first of all, it's a quarter circle. That's 90 degrees, right? A full circle. So that's a quarter circle. So let's find the area of the quarter circle, the big, 1/4 of the big circle. Now, 1/4 of the big circle, so it would be A equals pi r squared. Area equals pi, and the radius would be from here to here, which is given to us by 14. So A equals squared, by the way, sorry. So the area of the full circle is 14 squared, which is going to give us 615.75 centimeters. Is it centimeters? Yes, centimeters squared. That's the area of this whole thing. Sorry, I got to divide that by 4. Apologies. So I got to take this and divide that by 4. Sorry. So let's divide that by 4. So the area, quarter circle, is 153.94 centimeters squared. So that's what we just found. This is 153.94 centimeters squared. Okay. Let me erase that. And now there's another quarter circle here. So I'm going to subtract. So from that quarter circle that we just found, I'm going to subtract a smaller quarter circle. Okay. So let me write 1/4 of the smaller circle equals A equals pi r squared, and then the radius is A equals pi, and the radius for the smaller circle, this radius right here, is 7 squared, so we get 49 pi. Let's multiply that out. 49 times pi, enter, change it, we get 153 0.93804, etc. But remember, actually, before I do that, so the area of the smaller big circle will be 49 pi, but we're dividing, remember, we're dividing that by 4, so that's what I should have done. It's going to give us 38.48 rounded. So let's subtract 153.94 minus 38.48 equals 115.46 is the area of the shaded, where the windshield wiper sweeps, centimeters. Find the area of the shaded region. Okay, so let's deal with the top part first. Right. So let's deal with that. So it's a half a circle minus this. Right. It's a half of a circle. So if you look at the top half, look at the top half. Look at the top half. Right. So if you look only at the top half, it's the area of a semicircle minus this little circle over here. So semicircle, or half a circle. Well, we need to find the area of the big circle. So the diameter, right? So the diameter, so that we know that the diameter is 12, so the radius is 6. So A equals pi r squared. A equals pi times 6 squared. And let's multiply that out. 36 times 5. Enter. We're going to get 113.09, and we're going to divide that by 2. So and then I'm going to divide that by 2, and I'm going to get 56. My final answer, I'm going to divide that by 2, and I'm going to get 56.55, half of a circle. So I'm going to write that, right, half a circle, centimeters squared. So now this whole thing is 56.55, and then what do we have to do? We have to remove this guy here, right? So let's find that, and then that's another half a circle. Right? So we gotta remove this guy right here. This part has to be removed. So we have to find that area. So that's area of, again, it's another half a circle, but area of a half area of, again, I'll call it the medium circle because there's gonna be another one of medium circle. All right, so pi r squared, in this case pi, they're telling us the diameter is 7, so the radius is 3.5. So 3.5 to the second power times pi. So it's, and we're going to divide that by 2. So the area of this half of that circle is 19.24. Okay, so let me subtract 56.55 minus 19.24 minus 19.24, and that's going to give us 37.31, and that represents this, right? Leave it in blue. This is what we just found up to here. Okay, that's 37.31. Okay. And then we need this little guy here, right? They're asking for the shaded region, so it's this plus this little guy here. Now, area, so again, it's another half a circle, half of small circle, the tiny circle. Pi r squared, pi, and the radius here, well, if that's 7, the whole thing, the diameter is 12. From here to here, 7, which means, I'll change colors. From here, diameter of the small circle is 5, which makes the radius 2.5. So it's 2.5 to second power, enter, times pi. And then we still got to divide that by 2. And put that divided by 2, and that equals 9.82. And that's this guy right here in red. So our final answer, which is still not done, is 37.31 plus 9.82. 37.31 plus 9.82. And that's going to give us 47.13 rounded centimeters squared. Oh, last problem. Now we want the area of, hang on a second, what do we want? The radius of each region. Okay, so the radius of each circle. Okay, so this is 4.5. Find the area of the shaded region. Okay, so it's a square, right? So from here, they're saying that from here to here, which the radius is 4.5, and then from here to here is also 4.5. So that means we have a square, right? So the area of a square, and this guy here is also 4.5, and this guy here is also 4.5. So it's a 9 by 9 square. So 9 times 9, and the area of the square is 81 centimeters squared. So I know the area is 81 centimeters squared. I have to remove, so I have a square. Can I shade this? Right, here's a square, and that's 81. Now from here, they're asking us, remove this guy, this right here. Remove this right here. Remove this guy right here. And remove this guy right here. And notice that from each corner, I removed a quarter of a circle. And there's 4 quarters here, right? So that equals 1 full circle. Well, this, and this, and this they each represent 1/4 of a circle, and combined they represent 1 full circle. So I can just find the area of a circle. And that particular circle has a radius, so I mean that quarter circle has a radius of 4.5. So pi times 4.5 squared. 4.5 squared times pi, enter, 63.62. So the answer to our problem is the area of a square minus the area of the circle, right? The 4 parts that make up the circle. I'll put the dots here, which is these, this, and this. So we get 81 minus 63.62. 81 minus 63.62, and that gives us final answer 17.38. Well, that takes us to that. There was one extra problem, which I'm going to do now because I won't collect anything that's for that one, for the other problem. For this problem, I'm only collecting the ones that are in the class. So let me see if I can take a better picture of this or not. We want the radius and the area of the shaded region. Okay, so let me take this. Take a picture and put it over here. All right, yeah, all right. Well, hopefully you actually got this. We want the area of, what does it do? The area of the what? We find the radius and the area of the shaded, all right, radius and the area of the shaded region. Okay, so we need the area of the circle, right? We need the area of the circle, and then we can, so imagine if you had, what is it called? Cookie cutter, right? And you took this guy out, you took this guy out, you took this guy out, and you took this guy out. And the shaded, this is what you had left over, and I'll put it in blue, right? That's what we want. That's part 1, and then we want the radius of that circle on the top. All right, so there's 2 things. All right, so let's find the area of the circle. Half a circle, by the way. Area, half of a circle. Right. Pi r squared. P, from P to Q is 108, which makes this 27, right? This 27, this 27, and this 27. Okay. So the area of the half of a circle, half of big circle, half of big circle. The area of half. Oops. Where is it? Where is it? Finding half. Why can't I say is half the area of the big circle. Right, this big circle right here. Now erase this big circle. That's what I'm trying to find right now. Okay? And a equals pi r squared, a equals pi. And what's the radius of the big circle? The radius will be from here all the way to here, which would be 54. So let's do that. 54 to the second power. Enter. Multiply. Oops. To the second power. Enter. Times pi. We get 9,000. So the area of the big circle is 9,160. Oops. Right. Sorry. Should have done this. Divide by 2. Now I'm going to divide that by 2. So it gives us 4,580.44. So let's just call it centimeter per square. Okay, so that's the area of the big circle. So I want to remove, and from that, I want to remove this guy here. I want to take this guy out, and I want to take this guy out. It's a cookie cutter. And those two combined form the area of a circle. So I'm going to call that the medium circle. So area of the medium circle, right? Medium circle. It's going to be this guy here, right? This circle and this circle combined. These two halves make one full circle. So pi r squared, pi, and the radius in this case, right, is 27. So let's put 27 to the second power. And we're going to get 27 squared times pi. The area of that is 2,290.22. Now, our problem here is that I can find the area of the big circle. I can find the area of this, right? I can find the area of the whole circle, right? But I can't find the area of this guy, because I don't have the radius. I can't find the area, so let's find the radius. One thing that might help us, well, from P to Q is a diameter, right? And that's 54. So hopefully you can see this, and I'll put it in green. So from R, which is the center of our circle, if everybody agreed that that's also the radius, right? And I can call that 54. Right, so 54 represents the radius of the big circle, right? So how is that going to help me? Well, we can use the Pythagorean theorem here, and we can let's see what color it is. We can use a triangle. And we're going to make a triangle right here. Now, let me draw the triangle. Let me bring that triangle over here, right, to the side. This is a center, and I'll call R, right? And that goes half, so that's half of the radius of the it's the radius of the medium circle, so that's 27, right? Now, what is the height here? the height is from here to here, right? So let me put a circle here, put a circle here. That's the height of my triangle. I don't know what the height of my triangle is, but I know the total is 54. From here all the way to the top is 54. Right, so from this all the way to the top here would be 54. And if I remove the radius, I would get that height. So this height here is 54 minus that green part, which is the radius. Now, over here, this would be what? Well, it's the center of the circle to the edge of the circle, so that's 27. And this is the radius of the smaller circle. So I can call this the hypotenuse, 27 plus r. So let me go over this again. So this part right here, from there to here, represents, and I'll do it in blue, from here to here. Hopefully you can see it. That's 27. I don't think anybody has an issue with that. And I'm going to do this in red. Now, this part right here, the hypotenuse of our triangle, is made up of two sections. First, the radius of the medium circle, which I know what it is because it's given to us, is 27, plus the radius of the small circle, but I don't know what that is, and that's okay. So I call that 27, which is the radius of medium circle, plus the radius of the small circle. Now, the last part, we'll call it orange, this height right here. This height here represents this guy here. I do not know. I know that from R all the way to this orange dot, the whole line all the way to the top is 54. But if I subtract the radius, guess what? I actually get the height of the triangle. And now you can use, or we can use Pythagorean theorem to solve for R, and that's going to give us the radius. And if I have the radius, I can find the area of the circle. So a little bit of work. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So a, let's call this a, let's call this b, and let's call this c. So 54 minus r to the second power plus 27 squared equals c squared, which is 27 plus r, right? To the second power. Now, remember what I told you, 54 minus r to the second power is the same thing as 54 minus r. Just basically what you're doing is distributing properly twice, right? You multiply these two, and then these two, and these two. It's the same, right? It's just one extra. And let's say, so first we multiply 54, I'm going to change colors. So this stretch here, 54 times 54 is 2,916. And then we're going to multiply 54 times r, negative r, which is going to give us negative 54r. And then we're going to do, again, r times 54, which is going to get negative 54. There's an easier way of doing this, but and then r times r is positive r squared. That's r squared. Let me change colors. Let me do 27 to the second power. That's 729. Sorry, plus 729. And then the other side, I'm going to repeat the same thing. It's 27 plus r times 27 plus r. Right, so you're going to get very familiar with this next year. So square the first one, which is 729. Multiply 27 times r and then double it, 54r. And then the square of the last term, which is r squared. That's what we have. Looks a little bit too much, but guess what? Look, there's so many things we can cut off. There's an r squared on the left and an r squared on the right. They both are going to go away. Let me combine some like terms. I can combine this guy and this guy. So 2916. Actually, I'm not even going to combine it. Sorry, I have a 729 positive on the left and 1 on the right, so this too will also go away. 2916 minus 108r equals 54r. So let's do plus 108r on both sides. right? So we get 2916 equals 162 r, and let's divide both sides by 162. 1916 divided by 162. We're gonna get, oops. We're gonna get 2,000. Ah, come on. 2916 divided by 162 is going to give us 18. So the radius, I didn't make any mistakes, of the smaller triangle is 18. And I'll put an 18 right. So let me erase. Write 18. That's the radius of the small triangle. Now, the small circle, I can find the area, take advantage. A equals pi r squared. A equals pi times 18 to the second power times pi. That's going to give us 1017.88. So I have everything I need now. I have the area of the small circle. I have the area of the medium circle, right? It's just this. And I have the area of the big circle. So if I take take 4,580.44, remove this guy and this guy, which is 2,290.22, and then remove this little circle on the top, minus 1,017.88. That's going to give us our shaded region. 4580.44 minus 2290.22 minus 1017.88. Final answer, 1,272.34. And that, if I didn't make any mistakes, is the area of the shaded region. Okay.